Monday through Friday, they call you Spanish.
Right.
Today, I call you Anthony.
Thank you, Michael.
You're very welcome, sir. So we are pressing hard. We've gotten like 15 subscribers.
I know, right?
And that's awesome.
I think that's great, man.
Yeah. So we want to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube. I can show you my notes. That's my June 30th goal. I mean, if we hit it by 2 o'clock today, I'm great. If we hit it by June 30th, great. But go to YouTube, Let's Get Real Radio Show. You can subscribe there, comment there. We put up content, not just segments of the show that you might have missed, but also saunters around Crescent Lake.
Love it.
Figuring our own forked up life.
Yeah, dude.
So I was walking the dog last night, and I had, it felt like an epiphany. Like it genuinely felt like an epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking by St. Paul's Catholic Church. We live in the same neighborhood in St. Petersburg. And I was
Love
walking,
that church.
I was walking by that church, and I was like, oh, man, I think I just figured something out. Like I stopped and I looked at the dog, as I often talk to myself and the dog as I walk. And I'm like, man, I think I figured something out. In hindsight, I think I had figured this out a long time ago. But I want to talk it through with you now, if that's okay.
Yeah, man.
So I have been under what I believe to be an incredible amount of stress for the last month or so with something we talked about last week on the Let's Get Real radio show. And you can catch up those segments about the uncertainty that I have at work.
Okay. I remember this conversation.
So my day job, which I love very much, I love the people that I work with. The company is a fantastic company, helps a lot of people, but it's going through a weird time right now where financial instability has created a scenario that for the last two paydays, on payday, on the day that most normal people are like, yay, I'm getting paid, I didn't know. I did not know until I looked at my phone and went, oh, okay, paycheck's coming in. Yay. Ooh. So you can imagine there's a level of just stress that comes around that uncertainty.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, not being able to survive and provide for your family, I've got to be one of the most stressful things I can imagine in my entire world.
Yeah, it's kind of bananas.
Yeah.
So, but there's a really interesting, how would I put this, A/B test, if you will, happening in my life right now. While all of that uncertainty is existing in one lane, there's another lane where there's some pretty cool stuff happening. And it is a lane that I feel as if I am going in the direction of my highest excitement, which you and I have talked a lot about. And if I had to encapsulate what that looks like, it's really just authentic conversations. It's authentic conversations with men in the form of this radio show, authentic conversations with dads in the form of my Rethinking Dads podcast, authentic conversations with people that I work with. Me and my the owner of the company are starting a program around identity and purpose through God's eyes.
Love that.
So that stuff, oh my gosh, like it feels so good. It feels so filled with ease. It feels right. It feels energetic. And I'm living in that space. And it's kind of wild, the stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
The signs, the synchronicities.
That's right.
And I can't share all of them on the radio show, but you know
I do.
I had a phone conversation yesterday.
A great one.
Yeah. We are 6 shows into the Let's Get Real radio show, and there's another radio station interested in us.
Love that.
How awesome is that?
I mean, that's pretty good. It feels good. It feels, it's exciting. I don't like to get my hopes up a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Keep them at bay. It was a great converstion yesterday.
Yeah.
We'll see where it unfolds.
Absolutely.
I also, in the last week, 4 days ago, I got a new podcast client.
Yeah.
And we did our first call yesterday, and then she was like, hey, can we meet? Can we meet every week? And I charge by the session. And I'm like, oh, yes, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can. And then I was thinking, okay, 2 weeks ago, when I was stressed about not getting paid, I did not know that I would get this podcast client, and I did not know about the phone call I had yesterday.
So what do you think – I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
What do you think there was anything about your mindset that you changed from 2 weeks ago, something that just clicked that you said, I'm just going to go in this direction? Or did you say to yourself, you know what, I'm just going to have faith?
No. So that's kind of the A/B test, is that in the lane of authentic conversations, in the lane of my passion, my purpose, my highest excitement, things are just happening. Things that were not of my world 2 weeks ago are now in my world now. Could not have predicted them. Yeah. I would not have predicted 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have predicted the conversations I had yesterday.
Yeah.
But yet they happened, and yet they manifested, and yet they showed up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So in the other lane is all the stress of the uncertainty of not getting paid.
Yeah, that's a lot of
That's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So what I thought about yesterday, was like, okay, does the uncertainty cause the stress, which makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or follow me on this.
Okay.
Does the belief system that I have that I need to be stressed because of a potential lack of paycheck, does that belief system of heart beating fast, not, literally waking up in the middle of the night, palm sweating, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Does that belief system that it won't get figured out because the lane over here is figuring its stuff out in a pretty forking awesome way.
Yeah.
But over here is the stress.
Right.
So does the stress create all of the uncertainty around me? So if I were to say, which is what I came up with last night, dude, if I don't get paid in 2 weeks, I will figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what it looks like, but I'll figure it out. And flip side to that is there's a part of me that also journals around creation, creating your own reality, manifestation, whatever you want to call it. So not only can I go, okay, here's worst case scenario, I'll figure it out, or I can actually journal things like, cool, I will actually just create the reality I want.
Yeah. But
the commitment I made to myself last night was that for the next 2 weeks, I don't know. Shooting straight with you right now, I do not know if on June 30th I'm going to get paid by my day job.
Oh, that's fun. That's a fun way to live right there. Now,
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get paid, but I have a choice.
Yes.
Okay. I have a choice right now.
Yeah.
I can live the next 2 weeks stressed,
in fear.
In fear, yes. I can live that way, or I can choose to live in a completely different path, thus creating less worry. Because again, there's an example in my life right now that when I live in a life of ease and high vibration and high excitement and all that stuff, really cool stuff's happening.
Yeah.
So if I can create the same thing, maybe what manifests in this, because I do love the people that I work with, like I really want to help them. I genuinely want to help them get out of this weird mire that's happening right now. So maybe in that carefree, not fear-based, fearless place, I can actually say, okay, maybe something will manifest. Maybe something in the next 2 weeks will manifest in my life that helps me help them.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't see it right now because it hasn't happened yet.
No, but the more, I love this. The way that I always think about it is the more that I try to put my finger on how it's going to work out, always I get some bastardized version of it.
Yeah.
The more I just go, like you said, it'll work itself out. I don't know how, but it doesn't really matter how as long as it works out. Universe, do your thing. I'm not going to worry about it. And usually things tend to always work themselves out. And yeah, your stress response is due to the belief system that if you don't get paid, something catastrophic will happen, which is not the truth. No. The truth is if you don't get paid, you will figure it out. We've all been in situations before. Like I was telling you last week, remembering your strength is such an important thing that is so easy to forget because you feel like every day it's something else. You got some other wild curveball that's hitting you in the chest. But the truth is you were made for those curveballs. Those curveballs that hit you were built specifically for you to either learn something or get something from it, to have more faith in God or the universe. Yeah. You wouldn't get something that you couldn't handle. I hope for others they don't have to learn that the hard way, like I had to do with some situations. But you will always get what you can handle.
I think no, because thinking is of the mind. I am on this journey right now, and I have been shown lessons after lessons after lessons for years around scarcity. And I don't know that this incarnation of Michael Sharkey is supposed to figure out scarcity, but I feel like I have spent an inordinate amount of time in my life in a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
And I have really kind of like super, super intentional in the last 3 to 6 months going, no, No.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in that mindset anymore.
Yeah.
But yet I was presented and keep getting, like, I'm presented with uncertainty around getting paid in my day job.
Mm-hmm.
And is the universe saying to me, hey, this is you are being tested right now. You are being tested because I don't know. I mean, technically yesterday was payday, and guess what? I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, knock on wood, paycheck's gonna come in on Monday.
Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Yeah.
But in full transparency, it should. It's been told. But I mean, it just kind of speaks to like the weirdness of right now. But I think I don't even know if saying I think is right. I'm being presented with lessons around scarcity versus abundance and fear in that. And it's just come up so much in my life that I really, really want to find a healthy place. I really want to find that mental, energetic, high vibration, really fucking cool place.
You're ready to learn your lesson.
Yeah. And I was about to say, I'm trying. There is no try.
Nope.
Some dude named Yoda was like, there's only do.
Yeah.
But so I say, I was like, oh my God, I had this epiphany last night. I don't know that it was an epiphany because I feel the mindset creates that. Belief systems create that.
Those limiting belief systems.
Those, limiting beliefs, your core assumption that you can't do something.
Yeah.
Those define us if we allow them to define us.
Oh, yeah.
And this lesson for me right now, unfolding in real time at 1:12 on a Saturday in the middle of June, is, hey, you have a choice. Because I'm showing you, God is saying, I'm showing you this path over here filled with ease, joy. Look at the cool stuff that you couldn't have predicted 2 weeks ago. That's pretty cool. And now you got this other path over here where if you choose, you can also be ease. You can also be that. And let me show you really cool stuff. But if you keep blocking it because you're worried and your palms are sweating and you're waking up in the middle of the night, then I can't show it to you because you keep pushing it away. Does that make sense?
It definitely makes sense. Yeah, and I've learned to love the duality of the universe that we live in. You can find it in every one of your lessons that you decide to look into. Like for me with relationships, you with scarcity and fear, you're always shown both sides of that coin. You're always shown the bitter and it's held up right next to the sweet. And you take lessons from both of them. And when you get real good, you start to integrate both of those things into part of who you are, knowing that you are of the mindset of scarcity while also being of the mindset of abundance. Just depends on which side of that coin that you really want to dip your toe into. Do you want to use the motivation of scarcity to push you in a direction to find more abundance? Or do you want to sit with abundance and be at ease until you start to feel that scarcity again? Does that make sense?
It does. And I mean, if it's all symbiote, I'm cool. I don't need to feel any more scarcity.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that, I don't think that will ever go away, Yeah. But like I said, it's not that it's, when you turn it from a limiting belief in your mind that this is just the way it is and I'm never going to have enough to this is what motivates me to step back into abundance, I think that's where the big shift comes, because you're no longer feeling that scarcity as these walls coming down. You feel this scarcity as a whole, and you now have built yourself a ladder to climb out of it to then go back to abundance. That was the motivator to build the ladder, was feeling that scarcity.
Yeah, and maybe that was why I referred to what happened last night as an epiphany.
Yeah,
that ladder was being presented.
Yeah,
because what I think what really hit me was I have a tendency, kind of what the duplicity woman was talking about. I think it was her that would talk about, or whatever. It was like fear in the future. And the reality of it is I'll sit here right now and say, what if I don't get paid in 2 weeks? Here comes the fear, the scarcity. But what if in that lane, the same thing happens over the next 2 weeks that happened in the last 2 weeks? Like two really phenomenal opportunities presented themselves in the last 2 weeks that, again, 2 weeks ago, I couldn't have predicted. But 2 weeks ago, I was in some part of my life like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We're not going to pay the bills. We're going to get kicked out of our house. I'm going to be in the gutter. We're going to run, like all those horrible things that come up. But if I'm open to it, who's to say that two really amazing new things can't present themselves in the next 2 weeks?
And the third option is, what if you just allowed yourself to be and to just exist and to surrender all of it to the universe and just allow the universe to just give you?
Amen to that.
Yeah.
1-800-771-1025 is our phone number. Thank you for letting me process through all of that and share my epiphany. Our phone number, again, 1-800-771-1025. The show is for you. If you've got something that you want to process, if you want to jump in on this conversation, the conversation we had in the first hour, it is all here. Let's get real on 102.5 The Bone.